Hello, this is Richard Keene with Ninth Haven Games. Our PPC copy of the game arrived this morning, so let's take a look at what's inside the box. So first off here, we have 3 envelopes. These will actually not be part of most people's copies of the game. These are the 3 language versions. If you did opt into receiving one of these languages, you will receive this in your copy, but everybody else will just receive the English version of the rulebook. Here we can see that this is the tile bag for all the facility tiles. Good, sturdy quality. Now you can see that it looks like we do not have the plastic insert in this copy of the game. I was informed that they did have some concerns about the insert given the specifications and the current size of the box, which may be a little too narrow to fit it, but we will look into that. Here you can see that we have all of the custom wooden worker meeples. Here we have a bag of very numerous amounts of fence blocks. These of course are the painted versions that were unlocked as one of our stretch goals. My personal favorite dinosaur in this batch, the Ankylosaur. These all look great. Triceratops. Our mutant meeples. The T-Rexes. Stegosaurus. Let's see if I can get a little better focus here. Our Brontosaurus, our pterodactyls, and these are actually our corrupted T-Rexes. So these are actually one of the very few add-ons we have for the game. If you added these in the Pledge Manager, you will also receive a copy of these. But I don't want to discourage anybody here, so if you did not order the wooden upgrades, I just want to inform you that there are cardboard token versions of these in the game for use with the single-player scenarios. Then we have the goat meeples. These are a favorite among us here in the office. The custom visitor meeples. These are kind of adorable in how small they are. And here we have our raptor meeples. And here are the point trackers and reputation trackers. I will show these on the boards a little later. We have our wooden scandal tokens. Our dice. These are a little bit larger than the original ones that we had shown. They're about 2 millimeters larger. The reason for this is we just wanted them to have a little bit of heft, make it feel more like a deluxe version of the game, and I think these pull it off pretty nicely. Now we have our decks of cards. Here is the DNA. Here is the breaking news, and finally the manipulation cards. We also included some reference cards just to help people with the first time they play the game. Never a bad thing. Here We have our rule book. Just flip through this real quick. See if I can get this to focus a little. This looks pretty good. Now we get into some of the components that we haven't seen before. So here is the reputation track. This is one of the things that has been occupying most of our time over the last couple months. The specifications for getting the information on here, the line up versus the requirements of printing the double layers has caused some time constraints for us. But right now this is looking pretty good. Of course, the reason for this is keeping track of 5 different reputation cubes, one for each player. It's nice not to have to worry about having the cubes get moved around if the board shifts. Here is the one that I am super excited about. This is the personal player boards. This looks pretty good. Now, we were told that this uses a slightly different production method than the final version. These are laser cut instead of die cut, and the result of that is there is a little bit of fraying on some areas. We have been promised this will not be an issue with the final version of the game, but even here it's pretty minor. But yeah, this looks pretty good. Of course, we have 5 of these, one for each player. Fix the focus. And here is our main game board. This is actually the first time that I have seen this at the full scale. During prototyping, we used a version that was about 80% of the full size, so this is a little exciting. So this looks pretty good if I can adjust the camera to actually show all of it. And the reason this is larger than the prototype version is because it's actually designed to accommodate putting cards on this track over here. And now we can actually do that properly. One other thing is we were told that for this version, there is some slight variance in the color versus the final version, but it should be pretty close. It's supposed to be within about 5% variance. So this is looking pretty good. Now we have the individual punch boards, which are a little tight in the box. Here, let me adjust the focus. So these are looking pretty good, although I do see that some of the, it may have shifted in production. I will have to check with our representative to see if that will be an issue with the full version of the game. I don't think it will be, but we do want to be careful here because I do see some of the lines are exceeding their bleeds a little bit. The actual facility tiles themselves look just about perfect. Also, this might be the first time we've shown some of the destructed sides of the tiles, so that's kind of fun. This is just to show what happens when dinosaurs break out and actually damage your facilities. It's kind of fun. And of course, here in the middle you can see the actual token versions of the corrupted T-Rexes. Here we have one more punch board. Oops, everything's falling out. Again, these look pretty good. Yeah, no big warning, no big problems here. Pretty happy with these. So now I think I'll cut here and show a little bit of footage of one of the boards set up with the pieces, and yeah, we'll go from there. So here we have a first look at the double layered player boards with actual components on place. This is pretty great because one of the things we were most concerned about is if the boards shift, we didn't want the fence tiles to get moved out of place. So these hold the components in place quite nicely. One other thing is, we actually haven't discussed this on the Kickstarter, but this track down here was added in pretty late in development. This doesn't change the gameplay in any way, but since scoring is done by a season, every season of the game, one of the things we discovered with playtesters is that it took a little too long, in our opinions, to add up the dinosaur values every season. So just adding a simple track here to keep track of the point values of all dinosaurs that are in your park means that we basically cut about 10 minutes 10 to 15 minutes off the playtime of the game, just because people didn't have to add up the points every season. So this is just a nice convenience option. You don't have to use it, but it's quite nice. And of course over here we also have the indentations for the facility tiles, just to keep these nice in place as well. So this is great. We also have little indentations for the workers themselves. So this works pretty well. One of our original designs was actually to have them completely held in place, but because of the limitations of the printing process and how the top layer has to go in place, we did have to simplify it slightly to these tracks, but they still work pretty well, so I'm happy with that. And let's take a quick look at some of the cards here, because I actually have not looked at these at all. So here are, let's see if I can get this to focus. There we go. So these are some of our, I believe these are the final quality for the printed cards. Don't think they use a different process for these, so these look pretty good. Yeah, quite happy with these. So there's a quick unboxing video. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. But so far, this is looking pretty good. Also, here's the back of the box. Yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment section. Otherwise, until next time, managers.